Hi friends, welcome back to another video. As you saw in the thumbnail, today we will be choosing my TBR for March. How this works is I choose 7 or 8 books that I will put on my TBR for a given month. Typically, I don't read every book on my TBR, but I try to get to as many as possible. And so today we are going to be choosing my TBR for March. So what I've done for this is I have taken all books that are on my physical TBR, put 51 books between these two shelves of books that I have not read yet, and I've put them backwards so I can't see the spine. And we're going to use this number wheel to spin and randomly generate which book we are going to be reading. So we'll start with 1 down here and then from here over. And that's how we're going to determine the TBR. As I said, every month I don't necessarily get to every book on my TBR, and so I'm actually going to be picking out 10 books this month because there are 2 books from my February TBR that I really wanted to get to, and I just didn't have enough time in the month to get to them. The first one is Lovely War by Julie Berry. I got about 50 pages into this one and I was absolutely enthralled with it already. I loved her writing and the way that she was wording things. I just thought was so sweet and so beautiful. But unfortunately, I had to put this book down to do the reading vlog for the alphabet challenge. And so I haven't had a chance to pick this up yet. And tomorrow is the last day of February. So there's no way that I'm going to finish this book today. I decided to go ahead and move it to my March TBR because I really do want to finish this book because I was having such a good time with it. And then the second book that I'm moving to my March TBR is Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I had gotten myself all hyped up to read this book and I was really excited about reading it. And then again, other filming projects just got in the way and I never actually had a chance to pick it up. So I'm moving Mistborn to my March TBR as well. So without further ado, let's pick the last 8 books for the TBR. Book 50, okay. So book 50 is Happiness for Beginners by Catherine Center. This book is about someone whose life is falling apart, and so her little brother convinces her to go on like this really intense hiking trip in order to like clear her mind and like give her a break from her own life. And so she reluctantly signs up for it because she's not a huge outdoorsy person. And her brother's best friend ends up on the hiking trip as well, and apparently he has always had a crush on her, and so it's their story of getting to know each other a little bit better and the development of their relationship. So contemporary romance is the first one that we picked. Time for the next one. Book 31. Okay, keeps choosing high numbers. 29, 30, 31. The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Now this is a start of a series, so that's a little bit of a bummer because right now I'm trying to finish more series than I'm starting, and I'm not necessarily doing a great job at that because I've started so many series in 2025 and it's still technically February right now. But I am excited to start this series. This is the same author who wrote The Inheritance Game. This is a young adult mystery series and it's about these kids who basically are recruited by the FBI for their special abilities. I don't know what the special abilities entail. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what their powers are, but I know that they have special abilities, and so they were recruited by the FBI to help them with cold cases, and their little group is called The Naturals. So this is the first one in that series, and it looks like there are 4 books in all. A little mystery on the TBR will be nice, I will say. And so far, we only have 4 books, but like, look at the variety. We have a general fiction, we have a fantasy, we have a contemporary romance, and we have a young adult mystery. This is great variety. This is gonna be a fantastic reading month. Book 2, okay. Happy Place by Emily Henry. Wait, I'm so excited. This is a great pick. Okay. Wow. I am so excited that this happened. It's another contemporary romance, but Emily Henry tends to gear towards more like women's fiction, i.e. general fiction that is geared towards women because it does have romance in it. And if you missed my 2024 favorites of the year and end of year book tag videos, then let me just catch you up. Funny Story is the only book that I've read by Emily Henry so far, but I absolutely adore that book. It is so good. And part of it is because I relate to Daphne personality-wise. We do have very similar personalities. And because of that, I loved it even more. And I just love Miles and their friend group and the fact that she's a librarian. Everything about this book is just amazing and I love it. So much so that I read it originally in December and I'm currently rereading it right now. Yes, I am that obsessed that I read it in December and 2 months later I was like, I can't stand it anymore. I need to reread this book. The fact that I'm rereading that book is saying a lot. I think I'm on the Emily Henry train, but this will be a really good indicator if I really am on the Emily Henry train or if I just really liked funny story. I'm so excited. Another Emily Henry book. Okay. Yay. This really is going to be a great reading month. It just keeps getting better. 29. Let's change the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Okay, 29 is Caraval by Stephanie Garber. I actually don't think that I'm going to pick this one. I think I'm going to respin just because this is a young adult fantasy series and I am excited to start it, but I don't want to start another series. So I think I'm going to respin for this one. Let's try again. Book 1. Okay, that's easy. The book is Honey and Spice by Bobu Babalola. And this is one of those books where I genuinely don't really know anything about it. I believe that it is a romance book, and that is all I know. March is looking kind of romance heavy right now. I think we need another fantasy book in there. 3 romances so far, and Lovely War has romantic elements in it too. Hopefully we can get a little bit of variety. Oh, we got a classic, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain. Okay, cool. I can't necessarily say that I'm excited to read Huckleberry Finn, but I also try to read a classic and give it a very fair shot, at least a couple times a year. So I guess this is my chance to do that with this one. We need 3 more, and then I'll have 10 books on the TBR. Book 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, okay. A general fiction, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Okay, I'm so excited for this. I have wanted to read a Taylor Jenkins Reid book for such a long time, and this is one of my 25 books to read in 2025. That makes me very happy too. I'm trying to cross off 1 to 2 of these every single month until I knock it out. So this is fantastic. Yay. $11 again? All right. 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. Another classic. Well, classic adjacent, I guess. It's The Unfinished Tales by J.R.R. Tolkien. I am trying to read every single book that C.S. Lewis ever wrote and also every book that J.R.R. Tolkien ever wrote, specifically the ones related to Middle-earth. And so this is one of the ones I was thinking about reading this year. I have already read the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy, The Hobbit, and the Silmarillion. And so now I'm on all the straggler books of part of his writings and tales that were just kind of like left over after he passed, which I guess technically the Silmarillion is that too. Oh, Turin Tarambar. Okay, I actually really missed reading Tolkien books. This is gonna be fun. Yep. This is exciting. Another fantasy book. I also don't have a nonfiction for this month either. So if we don't pick one in this round, then I'll probably just pick one out and put one of the other books back because I try to read at least one nonfiction every month as well. $42, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. This is actually perfect because in the month of March, I'm going to be filming the next episode in the Alphabet Challenge and F is going to be a part of that. So that's actually really, really perfect. But that does mean that I have 2 classics on my TBR and I really only try to do 1. So I think I'm actually going to put The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn back because I'm not going to read 2 classics in 1 month. And I know for sure that I'm going to read Fahrenheit 451 because this is one of the only books that I own that starts with F. And I think it's on my 25 books to read in 2025. So I think I'm going to put this one back, save it for another month, and we'll spin one last time. And hopefully we don't spin one of the other classics that I put on the shelf or another romance. Five. This is great. Okay, a nonfiction pick. This is The Familiar Stranger by Tyler Staton. If you are unfamiliar who Tyler Staton is, he is the author of Praying Like Monks, Living Like Fools, which was one of my favorite books of 2024 and definitely my favorite nonfiction of 2024. So I am so excited to get into some of his other work. Yay, a nonfiction book. I think that's the final stack. Let's count. Yeah, that's all 10. Okay, it looks like we made a good little dent in this pile. So the final TBR for March is The Familiar Stranger by Tyler Staton. This is a nonfiction book about the Holy Spirit. Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. This is a classic about a firefighter in a dystopian world whose job it is to burn books. And then one day he's challenged to read a book and he realizes that maybe he wasn't doing the right thing by burning all those books. The Unfinished Tales by J.R.R. Tolkien. This is a conglomeration of some of his work that wasn't officially finished or polished that was published after his death. And this is a fantasy all about Middle Earth and its lore. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is a general fiction about a movie star who is retiring and she wants to have a memoir written by her before she passes away. And so she chooses a very obscure writer who has yet to have her big break to write this memoir for her. And she's very adamant about the fact that this is the person who wrote it, and the writer has to not only write this memoir and learn all the interesting and amazing things about Evelyn's life, but also try to solve the mystery of why is it her that Evelyn wants to write this memoir so badly. Then we have Honey and Spice. This one I don't really know what it's about, but I do know that it is a contemporary romance. Happy Place by Emily Henry. So excited for this one. This is a story about 2 people who were engaged and they broke up, but they haven't told their friend group yet, and their friend group is going on their annual vacation to a lake house, and they pretend to be together while they're at the lake house to not burst everyone's bubble because they know that things will never be the same after this trip because they've split up. The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is a story of a special group of teenagers who is recruited by the FBI to help solve some of their cold cases because of their special abilities. Happiness for Beginners. This is a romance between someone who is burned out and her little brother's best friend on this really intense hiking trip. Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. Honestly, I don't really remember what it's about. I just know that the world is dystopian and that there's some sort of uprising. And of course, Lovely War by Julie Berry. This is a book about Aphrodite being on trial for cheating on her husband and the stories that she tells of that, explaining why she did the things that she did and justifying her decision. It is also set in World War I. So that's it for today. Well, perfect timing because it looks like my battery is about to die. I hope you guys enjoyed this TBR video. Let me know in the comments if you've read any of these or if you are interested in reading any of these, and I will see you guys next time.